from that. But yeah, I think everyone, we go through those stages where we're going to be really hectic, and we try to keep ourselves present and positive. Yeah, I'm just going to try to do my best this month and see how we go. But I hope you guys are going to have an amazing month. I'm also really excited to see where we're going to go with our live streams down the line. So this month is going to hit, I think it might be getting close to my 3 months of live streaming with SuperEx. And it's a really cool process of how much I've learned along the way, and that I've been able to do it with you guys. So please don't forget to put any comments you can think of during the live stream, or even in one of the pre-recorded live stream videos, just because it really does help us know if we're going the right direction, if we're providing the content that you guys want to see. But yeah, I do understand sometimes it's hard to comment during a live stream because it's a specific time. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or any feedback, always let us know in the comments down below, because we do listen and we want to grow and learn from it, okay? Alrighty, let's get to our spot trading today. So this is our beautiful spot trading screen. I know it can look a little bit busy and overwhelming, but for spot, it's pretty simple once you understand the 4 areas that we need to know. The first one's the top left, is our pair sector. So right over here, I currently have Bitcoin and USDT loaded, but you can switch to any token in seconds. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Then we have our big chart in the middle. This is our trading view price chart. It shows you Bitcoin's price action live, and you can switch between 1 minute, 15 minutes, hourly, daily candles, whatever fits your style. I tend to go and look at a wider trend. Let's go between 1 day or 1 week. I just think it's really helpful to see what the trends are happening with Bitcoin, just so I know and I can make a better educated guess how it's going to look. And then on our right hand side, we have our order book right here. It shows you every buy order in green and every sell order in red in real time. Don't worry about that too much for now. Beginners don't really need to read this. Just know that it's there and be aware of it, okay? And then we have here, this is kind of where the magic happens. This is the trading panel, and that's pretty much the only place that we're going to interact with today. But yeah, so I'm just making sure that we are live and active, and we don't have any lags at the moment. All right, I think it's going smooth. It's a little bit laggy, that's for sure, but better than what I was expecting, so that makes me happy. Okay, let's look at our top here. We have buy in green here, and then we have sell in red. Today, let's be buying Bitcoin, so I'm going to click buy, and then right underneath that, we're going to see 3 order types. We've got limit, market, and stop market. I want you guys to use limit, and why is that? So a market order buys at whatever the price the market is right now. You have no control. A limit order lets you say, I'm only going to buy Bitcoin if it drops to my price. That's pretty much how the pros do it. Be patient and disciplined. We love it, okay? We don't want you rushing into things without knowing what you're getting into. All right, let's have a quick detour over to the left-hand side on how to switch pairs. So if I hover over here or click onto it, this drop down pulls down, and there's a search bar. So you can type in any token that you want, be it ETH, ET, SOL, BNB, honestly anything. SuperEx has thousands of pairs. And then below that, there are these tabs here. So SuperEx lets you filter by category: spot for crypto, stock for US. $64,216 right now. I think it is still gonna dip a little. So I'm gonna offer why aren't you writing my price? 64. $64,000, okay? So I've just typed that in the price field. And pretty much what that means is that my order will sit in my order book, and the moment Bitcoin touches 64,000 USDT, my buy fills automatically. Until then, nothing happens. I'm in control. I'm not chasing the market, which we love. Okay, next you want to think about how much you kind of want to commit to this. So you see the total field down below. That's how much USDT you want to spend. So for this demo, I'm going to put 50 USDT. And once you type that in, you kind of see what happens. The amount field automatically calculates how much Bitcoin I would get with 50 USDT. So currently, I would get 0.0078 of a Bitcoin, which doesn't sound like a lot, but guys, we want to start off small, okay? We don't want to be using the big numbers. We want to go small to understand what we are doing. And I love it that SuperEx does the math for us. I don't have to think about it, don't need to stress. We love it. But something just to also take note of is our available balance down below here. Mine says 15 USDT. So, excuse me, technically I wouldn't actually be able to process this order because I only have 15 USDT. But for the sake of this live stream, we're going to say that we have 50, right? Also, I do want to make it quite clear, even if I did have 50 USDT, I would urge you guys against doing all 50 USDT. I'm a very strong believer in you start small and then you grow from there once you understand what you're doing. So with my 15 USDT, I probably in reality, I would start with 5, at most 10 USDT. Just because I think it's safer to start off small. And then down the line, once you understand and you've done it a few times, you can go a little bit bigger, but just never go all in, okay? Okay, and now we click buy Bitcoin. No, we don't. This is the part that a lot of people skip, and I would say it's the most important part, is our take profit and stop loss, okay? So right above the buy button, you'll see a checkbox that says take profit and stop loss. I am gonna go to that. All right, 2 new fields have shown up. The first one is TP trigger. That's our take profit. So I'm going to, let's have a look. Let's make you all right. For my TP trigger, I'm going to put you at, let's go 70,000. Okay. So SuperEx pretty much tells me that in red that when the price reaches 70,000 USDT, it'll trigger a market order, and my estimated P&L will be 4.68 USDT. So that means if Bitcoin moves from 64,000 to 70,000, the platform sells my Bitcoin automatically. I lock in my profits when I'm asleep, while I'm at work, anywhere. We love it. And then down below we have our SL trigger. That's our stop loss. I'm going to set you at, let's make it all nice even numbers, 60,000 USDT. So pretty much it's the same logic, okay, but opposite direction. So if Bitcoin crashes from 64,000 down to 60,000, the platform sells immediately, and I will lose 3.12 USDT. But I don't lose 20 and I don't lose 50. My downside is capped. We love that. We love to make sure we're going to everything really safely. And see, pretty much SuperEx is showing you every step of the way what it means. It says when the price reaches 60,000 USDT, it'll trigger a market order, blah, 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 blah. So make sure you guys read all of those things in red. SuperEx does not want you to go into these trades without being aware of what you are doing, okay? First time, they want you to be able to come back and keep using it, okay? And to do that, you have to understand what you're doing. Also, just a bit of a heads up, the pros always use a TP and SL, so our stop profit and our take profit and stop loss. They always set these 2 figures just to make sure that they're happy with whatever trade they're going into, okay? All right, and then pretty much the final step would be you click buy. But before you do that, just double check your available balance again. So remember mine is 15 USDT, so I wouldn't actually be able to process my order right now, but that's totally fine. I am just doing this for the demo's sake. So ideally, if I was making a 50 USDT like order, I would have at least 70 still in my account, so I'd have a little bit of leg room if things did not work out. But yeah, so once you double check that you've got the correct amount of funds, then just hit that big green beautiful button and buy Bitcoin. Honestly, that's it. Your order is then live in the order book. You can actually, once you've clicked that, you'll be able to see it down below here in the open orders tab at the bottom. You don't have to sit and watch. The system handles everything. So if Bitcoin hits 64,000, you buy. If it hits 70,000, you sell for profit. If it crashes to 60,000, you sell to cut your loss. 3 scenarios, all automated. So pretty much what we did first was we found our pair, we chose buy, we chose limit, we put our price, our amount that we wanted to commit to it, then we set our TP and SL, and you buy. That's 7 steps. It takes less than 2 minutes once you've done it once or twice, and then the flow is super straightforward. So yeah, if you guys are interested, feel free to check it out. It is a really good way to get into cryptocurrency for spot trading, okay? Spot trading is the easiest as they come for a crypto, in my opinion. Futures, which we'll go dabble into in a second, is a little bit more harder. There's a little bit of extra thought that goes into it. But yes, I want you guys to feel comfortable with the easier one first before we get into the little bit more hectic vibe. Oh, my throat's getting a little bit scratchy, but it is because I do my live streams first thing in the morning because I'm home. It's relaxed. I love the vibe. My cats sometimes like to come in to the live stream. Right now they're chilling and having a bit more of a nap time because it's still early for them. But yeah, my throat is still warming up, but that's perfect. Spot trading is a great way to warm up to futures for my voice, but also for if you're going to be doing trades. Yeah, both their pages have a similar vibe to it. Same, but different. All right, let's have a bit of a comparison between the two. Okay, so this is our spot. This is our future. Spot, future. All right, we're going to stay on futures now, but you can see where the similarities kind of stay, and then you'll also notice there's going to be a couple differences, okay? Okay, so I do want you to scan these 4 areas that I'm going to make you focus on. So our top left, similar to spot, is our pair sector. We're currently on Bitcoin USDT perpetual, but we can switch between ETH, SOL, anything just by clicking here, okay? Then we have our top center. This row is our future specific data. So mark price is what the platform uses to calculate your unrealized P&L and liquidation. And then index price is the multi-exchange weighted spot price. Then we have funding and countdown. So every 8-hour longs pay shorts or vice versa, depending on the funding rate. And then you'll see the timer counting down. We've got the 24-hour change, high, low, turnover. It's pretty standard, okay? And then we have on the far right, our beautiful trading panel. This is where we open and close positions, and we're going to spend most of our time here today. And then in the middle, we have our order book, where we have live buy and sell orders. For futures, this also matters for funding rate skew, but for beginners, like we're demonstrating today, just glance and ignore it. We acknowledge that it's there, but we don't really need to take it into mind right now, okay? Okay, before we open anything, we've got to pick our margin mode. So in the trading panel here, we're going to click the button that says, yours probably says cross, mine says isolated because that's what I chose last time I traded. And then this pop-up appears. So there's 3 choices, just listen carefully because this decides what happens when things go wrong. So cross margin mode. Every position you have under this asset shares one single margin balance. If one trade tanks, the system will pull you from the other position margins to prevent liquidation. It sounds nice, but if everything crashes all at once, you can lose your entire futures wallet, not just one position. So I don't like that as much. And then the other one is isolated margin mode. You assign a fixed amount of margin to each position. If the trade goes against you, you only lose the everything that you have earned. So we click confirm and we move on. Okay, next we want to look at our leverage. So click the button that's next to margin mode. So next to my isolated here. Mine currently says 30 times. Click it and this pop-up comes up. So the big counter at the top, we can use the plus and minus to adjust it, or I can drag it here all the way from 1 times to 150 times. But yeah, just make sure you read the warnings carefully. Selecting a high leverage will increase the risk of forced liquidation. So at 150 times, a 0.66% move against you wipes you out. At 10 times, it takes a 9% move. At 3 times, you can survive a 30% crash. The higher the leverage isn't bigger profits. It's smaller margin for the same position size, which just means tighter liquidation distance, okay? So once you've chosen, click confirm. My recommendation for first-time traders is going to be 3 to 5. You kind of want to learn the platform and not risk it all in one day, and you can increase it later. For today's demo, I'm going to stick to my 30 times just because I like my beautiful even number. Water break. Minty fresh. Okay, now we're actually going to set up our order. We've done all of our prep to make sure we know exactly what we want. Now we're going to set up our order. So we're going to use limit order. So same as what we just did in spot. This lets you pick your exact buy price instead of taking the market price. So we're going to stick to our limit. Okay, and on the price field, right now, Bitcoin's sitting at $64,214. So I'm gonna bid just a little dip from the current and go to 64,000 USDT. So if Bitcoin drops there, my order fills. If it doesn't, nothing happens and I can cancel anytime, which we love. And then right below that, this one is quite important, the CONT versus USDT. So CONT means how many contracts. So each Bitcoin contract on SuperEx is equal to a specific Bitcoin quantity, whereas USDT means how much USDT you want to commit. Personally, I would say beginners should just pick USDT. It's the dollar amount that we understand. We don't have to be stressing ourselves out about it. So I'm going to stick to USDT. And then amount is how much you're willing to commit to this trade. I'm going to stick to the same even numbers that I like. And that's 50 USDT. So that's how much capital I'm committing to this specific trade, okay? Then look down, our margin is 1.66 USDT. That's only like $3 and change locked up as collateral because at 30 times leverage, 50 USDT of exposure only requires 50 divided by 30, which is around 1.66 USDT of margin. And that's the leverage magic. Small margin, big position, big risk too. Alrighty, and now we just go click open long and open short. No, that's not right. Guys, always the most important part everyone always forgets is we need to set our TP and SL. If there's one thing you can remember from today's video is choose this always. Never enter a futures trade without these two numbers set. Like, to me, it would just be mind-boggling not to set these two, okay? So make sure they are set. So for today, so we're buying at 64,000. All right. If I think it's going to go up, I honestly don't think it's going to go up super, super high. It is still, okay. For this one, I'm going to go 66,000. So take profit at 66,000. So I'm buying at 64,000. And if Bitcoin pumps up to 66,000, it'll sell automatically and I get to lock in my gains, okay? I don't need to stare at the chart. The platform does it for me. We love this. And then our SL trigger, which is our stop loss. Let's go 62,000 for this one. I'm making my numbers a little bit tighter compared to what we did for our spot, just because being tighter just makes it safer for whatever happens. Less gain and less loss, but at least it's safe. And I think that's really important when you're going into trades. So for my stop loss, I set it at 62,000 USDT, which is the opposite direction. If Bitcoin crashes to 62,000, it'll sell immediately and cap my loss. That's the kind of fine line between losing some margin and getting completely liquidated. Only after both are set do you click the beautiful green open long buy button. So open long means you're betting Bitcoin goes up, and then open short means you're betting Bitcoin goes down. Okay? Super, super important that you choose between those two. All right, once you have clicked one of those options, for this one, I'd probably go open long. I am hoping that Bitcoin's gonna go up and then I can make a profit. So once I click that, you can look at your open orders tab at the bottom of the screen. If it's a limit order that hasn't been filled yet, it sits there. You can cancel at any time. And then we have our positions tab. Once the order fills, so if Bitcoin touches my, 64,000 bid, the trade moves from open orders to positions. You'll see your entry price, your current P&L in USDT, liquidation price, and a close button. To close early, just hit the close button. You can do a flash close. So that's the market price, which is instant, or a limit close, your chosen exit price. Once closed, your margin is returned to your future. And then we're going to set our price. And I always choose USDT amount just because it's clearer on my brain. I chose 64,000 for right now because I do think it's going to dip just a little bit, but then go up. And then always set our TP and SL. Today we set our TP for 66,000 USDT and our SL was 62,000 USDT. And then you choose open, long, or short based on your view. I probably would have gone open long today. And then you just manage your position from the positions tab. And the positions tab is just down below here. So everything would show up right there beautifully. Yeah, so honestly, once you have done futures or a spot trade, it gets easier the more you do it, all right? You feel more comfortable with what's happening. You understand the process. And then you can start playing with bigger numbers. Once you've done a trade or two and you understand the process, you understand the consequences of what it is going into a trade like this, then you can start playing with the big boys. I still like to just go for a more safer trade. Remember, guys, I've only been trading for around 2 months. I definitely think I could play with bigger numbers, but that's just my personality, is that I want to start it off small, understand it fully. And I do feel like I've grasped it a lot. But I do feel like there's a lot more I could learn about everything. So I am playing it safe right now. I don't want to play any of my big numbers because remember, guys, this is not playing with Monopoly money. This is our hard-earned salary, or however you get your money that we're playing with here. I don't want you guys to be jumping into this and thinking, yes, let's go all in. It's like a poker's match. No, it's not. Please, please, please understand what we're doing. Then the process will become a lot easier. It'll be straightforward for you, and then you can start playing with bigger numbers, okay? It just doesn't, in my head, it doesn't make sense for us to jump into it without a knowledge of what is happening. And then you'll get discouraged once you lose, because especially if you guys don't set your TP and SL, bad things can happen and will happen, because essentially you have to watch your order to make sure you know what's happening. And the whole point for me when I'm doing a trade is I want to make the trade and then not have to think about it. I made sure I set my parameters, my good and the bad, what I want to buy it at, and then I don't have to think about it. That is the charm of doing trades on SuperEx, is because I really am not having to refreshing it every single day. I am able to take a step back. I can have a good night's sleep without stressing, and then I'll get notified as to what happened. I can go check it maybe once a day just to see what the market is looking like if I want to do another trade. But yeah, I definitely feel like it would be overkill if I had to be checking it all the time for myself to feel comfortable. And that's not something I really want to do. All right, let me quickly send the SuperEx link once again. If you guys are interested in doing any trades on SuperEx, that's the link down below. What I love, probably the best part about SuperEx, which is going to sound silly, is how easy the registration process is. It's honestly, you put in your email address, phone number, set a password, boom, you're done. I've said this before on other platforms. They were so tedious. They made me do so much more. And for one of the platforms, which I will not name because there's no point to that, I still was not able to get everything done. All the paperwork they wanted, every little step, they were just like, no, we just are constantly asking for more, and they were not making it easy. Whereas SuperEx, what I love is just how simple it was. Within 5 minutes of me setting up my account, I was able to deposit funds and start doing a trade. And don't worry, withdrawal of funds is just as easy. My biggest tip though when depositing and withdrawing funds is listen to the prompts that SuperEx is giving you, because there are a lot of numbers that you have to copy and paste. And it's best you don't try to remember the numbers, you don't try to type them in, you honestly just copy and paste. That's the best way to make sure that your funds are always as safe as possible and they go to the right place that you want them to, okay? But yeah, no, honestly, SuperEx has treated me so well for so many different reasons. But I do love the simplicity of the initial login stage. It makes everyone feel a lot more encouraged to start doing a trade compared to other platforms. But yeah. So yeah, that's what we did today. Today we went over our spot trading and perpetual futures trade. I believe that you guys were all able to, once you set up an account, within a day you'll be able to try spot trading out 100%. Futures, what I would say, wait until you've done a spot trade or two, just because the process is a lot simpler and straightforward. Whereas futures, there's a couple additional elements that make you think a little bit more. Whereas I believe spot is, yeah, within 2 to 5 minutes, you can have your first trade up and you know exactly what you're doing and what you're getting into. Alrighty, I think that's all for our streams this week. Thank you guys so much. I really do hope that I can try to get my VPN connection sorted a bit stronger, and then I can play with that a little bit more over the next few days to make sure everything is smooth. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have an amazing upcoming week. Take care, and I will see you guys in the next coming week. All right, see you guys next time.